Hello again. Welcome back to Space Madness. I hope you're well. There wasn't really much time difference between. We've still got the same number of prestigium. Right, we started at 313. I would have preferred to start at 303 just because everybody needs a 303, which is a song by Fatboy Slim off of his album 10th and Crenshaw, I think. Great album. Absolutely great. No, 10th and Crenshaw is a song off the album. What was the name of that album? It's like Better Living Through Chemistry, I think it was actually. The sign of its times. It came out in the 90s. There's a statement within that. Which leads me on to some interesting topics, I suppose. So how much do you lot know about psychotherapy? Because there is some really interesting research coming out of the University College London, as well as many other universities, university hospitals specifically, into the use of various types of natural substances, say random mushrooms, and unnatural substances, say things that one might consume at certain types of dance parties, that when used under controlled environments, under correct supervision from medical professionals, they can provide, shall we say, some really great benefits to the person who is using them. We should get 120, give or take, this episode. Oh, it won't be that many, because we're not going to get down to 30 seconds ago, but it's not going to be far off. Maybe 100, 110. We'll see. But yeah, and like the research though, the research into it's amazing. I met a professor from the University College of London. He was giving a talk on mushrooms. Brilliant guy. He was telling us about the regions of the brain, and he was listing off all these regions of the brain, and I could tell that he was losing a lot of people, because when he said that there's a region of the brain called the Shatner's bassoon, and I'm the only one in the entire audience crying with laughter, because I knew what that meant. It's a reference to a TV comedy show by a guy called Chris Morris called Brass Eye, and there was an episode called Drugs where they were trying to convince the British government that there's this new drug on the market called cake. You know, it's made in kitchen and they feed it to kids. Cake, it's disgusting, right? And the thing is they got loads of famous people to start talking about the dangers of cake, and like they even got politicians to jump in saying how much they think they should ban cake, which I'll be honest was very funny to listen to. Politicians telling us that we should ban cake because of what it does to kids. It's just so stupid, right? Because how are you going to have a decent birthday party if you ban cake, right? Anyway, so I like the idea of this, we're going to ban cake episode. Anyway, in this particular episode, it talks about there's a thing in the brain called the Shatner's bassoon, and the Shatner's bassoon gets altered by the cake to make you perceive time differently, right? That's the crux of how cake works in this drugs episode. And of course, this guy, who's a researcher into how certain types of mushrooms can affect regions of the brain, and he's giving out this, and he goes and we all know how the brain, regions of the brain, right? You've got the amygdala, the hippocampus, the cerebral cortex, the temporal cortex, and we've got the Shatner's bassoon, and he keeps on listing off stuff, and I am just crying with laughter as soon as he mentioned Shatner's bassoon. And he noticed me laughing, but because of where I was sitting, you couldn't see who I was, because I was kind of obscured by shadow. I was just, it was in a big marquee tent, and there must have been about 600 or 700 people in there, and I couldn't get in. I'm at the doorway, but where the doorway was, I was on the other side, so I was stood outside, and he was on, like everybody else is on the inside, but I'm obviously standing there crying with laughter, and quite a few people were looking at me like, why are you laughing, right? And you could see him look over and go, oh, as in somebody knows what I'm talking about. It was a good time, because Shatner's bassoon. This is where I find out that Shatner's bassoon is a real region of the brain, and I'm actually the idiot. Um, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I would expect myself to be that level of idiot, if I'm honest. I'm half tempted to Google it, but I'm not going to. But yeah, it just really made me chuckle that there's a thing called Shatner's bassoon. In his world, he saw the opportunity to make it into something for those who pay attention, right? So I got some chat to him afterwards about various different things because, he's a very clever man. A very clever man. Oh, he's a very clever man. Yes. Um, so yeah, I just thought, so I asked him some questions about it, and he was telling me this, that, and the other, and it was fascinating to listen to because, you know, like, you don't think that necessarily that there's going to be, what's the word? An evolution in the treatment of certain mental health disorders, right? But, you know, one of the upshots of the conversation that I was having with him is that, to me, psychiatry and psychology seem to be in the 1500s of medicine, right? And I'll explain what I mean by that, because I had to explain it to him, because he was like, no, we're very clearly in the 21st century. And I was like, no, it's not quite what I'm getting at. And he went, go on, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I was like, right, look at it like this. In the 1600s, right, the way we treated you was, here, have some leeches, because we saw a boil. And then, I don't know, 1900 and something, like early 1900s, we developed germ theory due to World War One, I think it was. And we realised that the boils on your skin weren't the cause of the disease, they were a symptom. So there was something inside you that was causing a problem, and if you treat the cause, you can deal with the symptoms, right? And to me, because psychology and psychiatry are really kind of new, like they're 100 years old at most, we're still in the leeches phase. So, you look at, say, depression, right? Depression has a clear-cut set of symptoms, but recently we did a thing which is called an fMRI scan of people with depression. Different people with with depression. So it's a functional magnetic resonance image. And what it showed was, in each of these people with depression, different regions of their brains were showing as underactive and different to each other, or different regions were showing as overactive to each other, right? So what it shows is that, it's not the same thing necessarily that causes depression in one person as it does cause in the other, in terms of on a functional level. So when we say, oh, you've got depression, here, take this tablet, to each person with depression, that tablet probably won't work for at least 80% of them. Now, I'm not saying that they don't know what they're doing. Well, I'm saying it a little bit. But what I'm saying is I believe we have a lot further to go in the topic, and therefore, we're still in the 1600s when it comes to brain medicine compared to the rest of the body, where we're in the 21st century. And he was like, that's an interesting analogy, I quite like that. I was like, thank you very much, I've impressed the professor. He says, I wouldn't go so far as to say you've impressed me. I was like, oh. And then I remembered my station in life, which is, back then I wasn't even a YouTuber. So, even more of an idiot, I suppose. So yeah, but look into it. There's some really fascinating research being done on things you can do with different types of mushrooms to aid both regenerative capabilities of the body and mind, as well as things that will be beneficial in the long run for increasing the body's ability to deal with physical ailments, not just psychological malady. So what was it? It's resetting the default mode network, for example, in the brain can be easier to be done with certain types of mushrooms, because they changed the way the brain wants to connect with each other. Fascinating stuff. And I was reading up on about how we've developed a new system for starving cancer. So back in the 1600s, ironically, they used to think you could starve cancer. And do you know how they tried to do it? They put a bit of meat over where the cancer was, to try and draw the cancer into the meat instead of in your like your leg. So if you had say your knee had cancer, thank you very much, and so somebody put a bit of steak on your knee, for example, right, and go, just leave the steak on your knee. It's like, okay, well, you're the medicine man, I don't know what you're doing, but if you say it'll work. And then the theory was the steak was so tasty that the cancer would go, instead of further into your knee, it would be drawn out into the steak and you'd get better. Clearly it didn't work, right? We all know that is not a technique that works, because we still get cancer and people don't put steak on you. I mean, honestly, they probably should. Everybody well, no, that's not true. Plenty of people don't. Like, vegetarians exist for a reason, right? To prove that not everybody likes meat. Anyway, it's not the point. The point is that there was a research paper put out, I don't know, 6 months ago or something, that I found out about a couple of weeks ago, because I'm not very up to date on medicine. I'd like to be more up to date on medicine. It's just finding the time to read all the papers, right? I struggle to keep up to date with physics, and I get magazines from phys.org, like the actual organisation of physics. So that's hard enough, right? Let alone chemistry, engineering, biology, and medicine. Not to count material science or sports science. Like, there's so much to keep up on. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, like, they found a way of there's something in brown fat that competes with cancer for the use of calories, and therefore brown fat, if you can activate brown fat, you can stop cancer from getting the nutrition it needs in order to grow, which is fascinating stuff, right? Because it means that they found a different methodology of treating cancer compared to chemotherapy. Now, it's still in research stages, they're still trialing it, but it's fascinating because somebody developed a drug because they worked out, what was it called? Is it an amine? I think it's an amine. Anyway, they found a thing within the active thing within brown fat that causes brown fat to be more aggressive on its calorie uptake than cancer, and they worked out how to put it into normal fat cells, which means they can apply those fat cells directly around the cancer, and therefore your body wants to feed the fat cells instead of the cancer cells, and they can put the cancer into remission, which is amazing, especially considering fat cells are very easy to transfer from one area of the body to the other. So if you look at cheek implants, right? So a lot of cheek implants in cosmetic surgery are done by moving fat from one part of your body to your cheeks to make them more, plump. And so as a result, you can get, you can get areas of fat from, one area of your body and put them somewhere else around the cancer. And I don't know how that's going to work in, say, lung cancer. I'll be honest, right? This is beyond me. This is still in the trial stages. But, we're not even halfway through my life yet, right? And when I were a kid, people died. You got cancer, you died. Nowadays, you get cancer, you might die. By the time I'm older, like twice my age, like near death, I don't believe cancer is going to be a thing. Honestly, I think we've basically found, because there's a couple of ways of dealing with cancer that aren't just that, but I'm not an expert in them by any stretch. Like, I think I've tried to make that clearly abundantly clear that I'm not an expert in any of these subjects. I am, in fact, what's known as, colloquially, the village idiot. And therefore, no, cannot trust me to have the answer on this subject. But what I can say is that that's not the only methodology of doing things to treat cancer that looks promising. Not only that, is a mate of mine's working, so he did his PhD in growing from stem cells of a patient. So, you know, you are the patient, you need a new kidney. They have been doing research into growing a new kidney for you from your own stem cells using a 3D printer and a cartilage scaffold, which the cartilage then gets absorbed back into the kidney and dissolves, right? Which means we are a stone's throw away, because his research showed it was entirely effective, and a different set of researchers did the same thing with hearts, right? He did livers and kidneys. This another company did lungs, somebody else did hearts, right? Which means we can take a lumbar puncture, which are very uncomfortable, I'll be honest, but we can take some stem cells from you. We can then use those to grow you a new organ, which means the principle behind having to wait for an organ donor is going to disappear soon. I mean, give it, I guess, 15 years, and we'll be growing all of our own organs whenever we need a replacement. Say goodbye to lung cancer because we just cut the lung out and give you a new one. I mean, that's pretty exciting. And then they discovered to do with brain function disorders like Alzheimer's and dementia and Parkinson's and a few other things. They found that there is a microbiome, much like in your stomach and in your heart, ironically, in your brain. And that there is some really good preventative measures to stop you from suffering from certain types of things. They're still looking at ways of treating some of the more advanced stages of it, but they now know some of the root causes behind that, which in itself is absolutely smashing. It's really interesting, you know. I mean, I believe it's really interesting. Hang on. Okay. Thanks for that. I got an email about something, and then they've sent me the same email again going, you know that thing? It's still available. I'm like, I didn't think it would be not available. What's wrong with you? But that's maybe I'm just being grumpy or something. Who knows? I just think it's odd. Now, are we at a point? I think we are at a point. Let's have a look. Ding, ding. We can get 64 titanium. We're nearly at 30%. That's madness. Space madness. 34 seconds per prestigium. That's pretty good. We've made 30. In 17 minutes we've made 30 prestigium. Well, in 18 minutes we've made 30 prestigium. Either way, that's still pretty good, right? Got to agree, that's pretty fast. We're getting there. I see 90 on the cards. I see 100 on the cards, actually. Now I do a quick bit of remaths. Or recalculation. You know what I mean. Nobody knows what you mean. Shh. Look, the wind is my only friend. That's a Mighty Boosh quote for those who know. Ooh, I can press the button. I can't press the button. I can press the button. I just got to press the button in the right place. We're at 37 billion, 25 million, 21 million. That's an awful lot of titanium. Let's spend ourselves some titanium, shall we? That wasn't a lot of titanium spent, was it? Realistically, that was a very small amount of titanium spent. Still not 44 million though, is it? I mean, I could just press that, couldn't I? Might as well. It's not making a big difference. I mean, we've moved up a couple of notches, so maybe it is making a big difference, but I can press that a bit. Look at that. It's getting good. It's getting good. Good. I'm going to be able to press it again in a million. Million iron, aluminium. Got loads of iron. I'd be curious as to what this goes up to. Like 41 million iron though is exorbitant. It's a large amount. It's silly. And because we're not going any speeds, I did crank these up last time round, as you know. You were there, after all. I mean, were you? It wasn't last time, it was time before. There's no point buying more boosters, though, is it? And honestly, this is not going to help. Your resistance gains are multiplied by 10, but what difference does it make? Because we're not going anywhere. Oop. Press the button, get some more stuff in. 32 seconds. I mean, it's getting good. It's getting good. I mean, that was 2 minutes, and we're down to 32 seconds. It's good. It's good. I'm maybe a little bit overexcited by that. Maybe a little bit. Who can be sure? But I'm not spending. I just know. I'm not spending the prestigium yet. It seems too expensive to spend just yet. And it's not like I don't want to. We all know I do. This is going to be the difficult one to do, because it's just stupid. Stupid, I tell you, stupid. But I'm assuming that much like this page, and these can be maxed out, right? That, I mean, I don't think that this is going to make any difference, honestly. Like, this might make a difference. And I could just do that for a laugh, right? But it doesn't make any difference, right? What difference is that going to make to us? This is the thing we need to be worried about. This is the thing that doesn't actually matter anymore, right? Well, it will, but once it's done, it's not going to matter, right? But I doubt that there's going to be a maximum. Well, there's bound to be a maximum once this is maxed out, I suppose. But these are pointless. Like, I don't know what that means to us now that we've got all the stuff available, because we're not going anywhere. Our light years is not going up, and I'm disappointed by it. Honestly, I am disappointed. I was hoping the number would just keep going up, but no, we're going too quickly for our own good. Stop moving, you. In fact, there we go. Right. Yes. It was a lot of money to spend, I grant you. But, you know, why not? I'd like to get that number up to 20 seconds at least. Honestly, I'd like to get it up for longer. 60 seconds would be good. I don't know why. I just got this feeling that 60 seconds would be good. Like 3 times longer than most people last in bed. Sorry. It's a terrible joke. It's also probably not true. I can't tell you whether or not it is true. I'm not there. I know where I am. I'm in my own bed. Elsewhere. Far away from people. Which is probably the best place for me. Ah, Rhiannon? Rihanna. With S and M. Rihanna. I have 2 friends called Rhiannon, which is why I think of the word Rhiannon, not Rihanna. Even though I didn't know my friend Rhiannon when I first heard Rihanna. Right, so I heard the musician first, Rihanna, and then I met my friends called Rhiannon, which was funny because although have I met a Rihanna? No, I haven't. I've only ever met Rhiannons. What are you gonna do? I met a girl called Isis once. That was weird. Because she was a little bit embarrassed. Understandably. Like, terrorists had co-opted her name, and that must have been tricky, honestly. Like, what's your name? Isis. Wait, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, there was quite a long time in history, for the youngsters especially, where that was not conducive to a good time, you know. Like, there is a joke there that I'm not going to tell, but it involves how much the American military liked doing things to ISIS. Yeah, poor girl. And I'm sure there's jokes about the A10 Warthog and various other things, but let's not go down that road. See, it started normal. You got 20 minutes of me talking about science and interesting science things, right? And then Rihanna came on the stereo. I mean, we're not on that. Now we're on Lady Marmalade with something. It's that famous song, everybody knows. From the Moulin Rouge, you know. Voulez-vous avec moi ce soir or something. I mean, it's technically it's from the Moulin Rouge soundtrack, and it's Lady Marmalade, and it's the one with Christina Aguilera on it. Like, and she's got such a brilliant voice. Like, could you imagine being able to sing as well as she can? Like, her voice is just unbelievable. Girl's got skills. I learned from the last time when I was talking about Sheryl Crow and Usher that I shouldn't say chops because it just makes it sound a bit seedy. But she's got skills, mad skills. Right? I believe that girl is fire, or her voice is fire, I think is the common parlance from what I heard on the internet the other day. I'm not sure I'm using it correctly though because I'm old. Stop moving, you silly button. Ah, yes. Oh, I forgot. I pressed the 10-minute button, didn't I? So no wonder we got lots more. When we started at 313, we're at 376. That's pretty good, right? Down to 31 seconds. It's nearly 2 a minute. I can maths. Oh, hang on. I can press buttons. I like pressing buttons. Come on. Hurry up. Thank you. We're over 30% now. Right, that's good. I'm pleased. Much pleased. Yeah, it's a thing. It's so cathartic pressing the occasional button. I'm not sure it's entirely conducive to doing well at a thing, but it is kind of conducive to life. Life is not the right term. It's now Friday. I have to do some uploading today, because otherwise things won't be uploaded in time. I don't think. I'll have to check. I'm pretty sure that. Actually, I think I already did it. I think, yeah, because with the Bazaar series, right, I'm recording more frequently that series because I only get one episode a day because of the nature of I'm not getting lots of chests because I'm not very good at the game yet. And because I'm not very good at the game yet, I'm not getting 3 chests a time. And because I'm not getting 3 chests a time and I'm not paying for the double experience thing, so I don't get 6 chests instead of 3 chests, or 4 chests instead of 2 chests. Like, I am accruing extra games slower than I could be, but I'm not. I want to give a real experience for the average person playing it, and I don't think that the average person will be playing it for money, right? I mean, hmm. Oh, it's Human by Metallica. Love this tune. Come on, get to 30 seconds, you. 30 seconds. And I can't turn it up too much because if I turn it up too much, the whole episode will get copyright struck by Metallica because they are quite litigious in that way. Even though I talk about them a lot and I'm always talking about how good they are, we're not at 30%. Disappointment. I thought we were at 30%. We're not. We're 29.7. Grrr. We need another 12 and a bit million, 13 million. Yeah, 13 million before we can claim 30% goodness. £41 million iron. That's ridiculous. I wonder what that caps out at. I wonder what that capsaicin's at. Wait, no, that's wrong. Ah, stop it. Mouse is being disobedient. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't like radios because people talk all the time, right? And I know that YouTube's different, so that people talking all the time is part of the appeal. However, I would like it for you to be able to hear the music I'm playing to myself, because then you could experience some of the joy of some of the music that I listen to, because some of it's amazing. I mean, not all of it's amazing, I'm sure. I've played some of the songs to other people that I listen to, and they're like, "The hell is this? Why are you mental?" And I'm like, "We all are in our own way. You're not special. You are not a unique snowflake." I mean, technically, we're all unique snowflakes, but in our uniqueness of being a unique snowflake, we cease to be unique as a result. It's a dichotomy. Which reminds me, yes, Anakin Skywalker's theory on the dichotomy of the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise. If you haven't seen Seals Are Good, I would recommend watching it. He does a whole thing about he basically is taking the mickey out of Star Wars, right? And it's brilliant because Anakin is the chosen one, and he is generally right about everything, but again, like Cassandra, people consider him to be an idiot and they don't believe him. And so he's talking about these things, and everybody's like, "No, you're not right. No matter what you think you are, you're not right." And it turns out he was right. And so this Seals a Good guy has made a absolutely amazing thing about it. Like, honestly, if you like Star Wars, watch it. And if you don't like Star Wars, maybe you won't enjoy it as much as I do. But I showed it to my brother. My brother found it very funny. I showed it to my dad, and my dad went, "Yeah." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, it wasn't that good." And I was like, "Yes, but he makes jokes about philosophy in it." My dad was like, "Yeah, well, some people don't find the same things funny as you." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I don't have to rub it in." He was like, "I'm not." And I was like, "Well, you are." Like, he talks about, essentially, he makes quotes from Thomas Hobbes as part of his part of the joke within this thing, right? Who's a famous philosopher, is Thomas Hobbes, right? But he makes him into a Hutt philosopher, and then changes the name just enough so that if you don't know the name Thomas Hobbes, you wouldn't get what the joke was. And he's actually quoting from Thomas Hobbes in context within Star Wars. It's very funny. It's very funny, especially if you're apparently. Turns out I am an uber nerd. Is it? Who knew? I wonder how long it. I mean, it's going to take us a very, very long time to max out the probes, I'm sure. I don't think we'll get to maxing out the probes. I have this feeling that maxing out the probes might take me forever or longer. So I'm not going to. I'm going to keep pressing the button, because why wouldn't I? But you know, the amount of titanium we've spent is kind of absurd. Yes, it is definitely absurd. This is old school jungle. No, it's not. It's old school R&B. Garage, apparently. It's pure garage, just in case. But it doesn't tell me who it's by. But yeah, I remember this coming out because I'm old. I'm not going to complain. It was a good song. Where are we at? Is that 391? That does look like 391, doesn't it? We're at 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 41 million. We're nearly there for this as well. We can get up to 65 titanium per second. I mean, this is going to tap out soon, I'm fairly sure. It just, you know, it has that vibe to it. I don't mind, but I wish it would go up quicker. It's just not quickly enough, right? It's just not quickly enough. I don't know why I'm letting out a satisfied sigh. Because this number here is no longer going up super fast, and I'm disappointed by such things. I'll be honest, I am. We've just dinged at 30%, 3 times out of every 10. We still need another 33 probes before we can say a third of the time. Still, you know, we got plus 9,520 bonus mats. Wow, we only get 70. It's going to be a long time before we get to 10,000, right? Like a long time. So hang on. 21. We're going to make that in 10 minutes. And because we make that in 10 minutes, well, it's not 21, it was 19, but because we started at 313, right? So it's going to be 10 minutes to get to... Nice. We might get to 120 made in an episode. Prestigium, that is. Which is good in some respects. It's bad in others, don't get me wrong. Yeah. This is just taking forever getting the... We're back to this same issue with aluminium taking forever to gather. Not into it. Right. Let's have a look. Can I can. Huzzah! Was that not already 65? I could have sworn that was already 65. Oh well. Apparently it wasn't. Oh, yeah, that's me told. Where are we up to on this? Oh, yeah. Apparently. Well, I wonder how much this goes up to. I'm not spending the money. I refuse. And I probably should, just to see. Come on now. There we go. Right. So, let's see. Is it worth it? Well, it's $1 million a go, though. That's very expensive, because we need our aluminium to get more aluminium. Alright? Because the more we get, the more aluminium we get. Well, sort of. The more aluminium we get, the more we can spend it on getting titanium. The more titanium we get, the more we can spend on getting aluminium. I don't like that system. We're not using calcium. It's not calcium-y. I'm a little bit disappointed by it. We're at 400. What does 400 give us? 29 seconds. It's getting there. It's getting there. I mean, in theory, at this point, I could spend the 100. I'm not going to, but I could. Because we're now at 120 per hour. Right? Well, slightly more than that. 122 or something per hour. But, you know. Oh. Is this Daft Punk? It is. One more time. Bow, bow. Yeah, it's good. Like it. But unfortunately, there's no point in us pressing the black hole button now, because it's going to multiply our speed even though our speed is capped, which means it's just a complete waste of resources. I feel aggrieved. Aggrieved. Stop it. My mouse is jittery because I'm jiggling my leg along with the music. One more time, I gotta celebrate. I'm still waiting for my door to ring. It's been a while now. Still no demon. It's almost like I'm so skeptical that they don't exist that he refuses to come to my front door and knock on and go, "Oi, I thought you said you wanted to have a chat." And I'll be like, "I said I don't think you'd be happy having a chat because we'd probably get into some sort of error 404 prestigium." Do you know what I mean? So this is episode 2 in the recording session. I might do a third episode. I'm not sure yet. I mean, I'll definitely take a break because I'll need to. I'm starting to run out of puff, as they say. I'm getting tired. Is essentially it. Not physically. Not mentally tired. I'm getting physically tired because it's not about what time of day it is. It's about I need to take some medication and I need to essentially sit down and just rest. The joys of, things. But, it'd be alright. I mean, I could ask for my health back, I suppose. But I don't think it's worth selling my soul for. Like, it's such a small thing. You could get immortality with infinite regen like Wolverine. Or, you could just be well again. I mean, could you not just make it so that I was well forever? I mean, yeah, right. It's a better deal, right? A much better deal. I'm not just going to ask for my health back. That would be foolish. Foolish, I tell you. And don't get me wrong, I am a fool. Maybe even a fool of a toque. It's hard to tell. Well, a toque is a type of hat, so I'm a fool of a hat. I don't think that's entirely right. I think I've made a mistake there somewhere. Come on, it's going to change. It's going to change. I'm only looking at it because I wasn't looking at it for a second, and I know what this game is like. I look away for like 2 seconds technically, and it's like, right, you need to press the button now. See? And it's about to move. I just moved the mouse slightly, and I shouldn't know what to have done. It's my own fault. So what's been going on with you? Have you had anything nice going on? Like birthdays, Christmases, bar mitzvahs? I don't know. I mean, probably not Christmas, let's be honest. This is May. And it is coming out in May. I made that decision, as you will probably already know. Although it turns out I made a complete goof, and I uploaded episode 1 twice, and didn't upload episode 2. Which somebody was very kind to point out. 9 days. 9 days after the fact. I'm not really that bothered, right? It's just sod's law, as they say. I'm a little bit frustrated with the fact that I made a boo-boo. And it was a boo-boo, right? It was a big old boo-boo. And, what you can do, right? There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to live with it. It's disappointment, but hopefully I haven't made another boo-boo. Oh, it's very likely. I know what I'm like. I'm not yet very good at this. What I need is somebody on my team who will do the logistics side of it for me so that I can be the talent, in the loosest possible sense of the word, doing the recording and stuff. But, until that happens, which is probably going to be a minute or 4, if it ever happens. I mean, I might just not bother. It might just always be me. Well, it's not like there's going to be other people who are going to be doing the presenting, I suppose. Unless, of course, we find someone better. I mean, there are plenty of people who are better at it than I am. I've seen the internet. I've been on it. I've watched YouTube. There are people who are way better at this than I am. Like, I've seen, like, there's a guy called Avak, Avak, and he does incremental games sometimes. And he's definitely more fun to listen to than I am. I believe he's got a nicer voice, he's Welsh, and he generally seems to know more things to talk about than I do. Or at least that's the way I view it. Doesn't mean I'm right, you know. 28 seconds. Although normally with the games that the people I see who play these incremental, like what's the other guy who does it? I can't remember his name at the moment. It escapes me. Well, there's Deep Space Matt. He does some stuff. Yeah, Deep Space Matt is quite fun to watch. He did one called Cat Quest, and I really enjoyed watching him play Cat Quest. But yeah, when they play, they're really good to watch. But when they play these sort of games, they only do one episode, which, it's a taster. It's quite good. I'm more of a completionist. I'm not going to play it 1 hour and then stop. I'm just going to play it until it's done. Which is a little bit obsessive, I'll be honest. But honestly, what's the point? If you're not going to do it till it's done, why would you do it at all? I had to move as I was, just as the flame came on my lighter, right? We've already done 100. Look at that. I like it. I like it a lot. I approve. Right, come on. When you move, I'm gonna move. Right. 30.4%. Yeah, we're getting there. We're nearly at the magic number again. We already did 69. We're nearly at 420. Meme. Yeah. Our silicon's going up. Slowly. Yeah, this aluminium cost is getting silly. I'll be honest. Well, we've got 15 million iron. We only need another, 40 or 30 million to upgrade our titanium income per tick or per proc. Yeah, 44.5 million to get this up to 66. It's getting stupid. Stupid. Yeah. Yeah. They reckon there's a big lake under Mars. Lots of water under Mars because the regolith, the soil, the regolith on Mars, the soil on Mars, whatever you want to call it. It's not soil in the traditional sense, although it's a soil substrate, I suppose. Is really good at absorbing water. So instead of it getting wheaked off with the atmosphere, as we first thought it was, it looks like it just got sucked deeper into the core of the planet. So it's about 20 kilometers down, which is pretty hopeful, right? Because living on the surface of Mars is probably not a good idea because of all of the cosmic rays and all the other stuff. Oh, it's Angel by Loyal Kana. It's a brilliant song. Absolutely love this song. And a friend of mine's kid suggested it to me, which was weird because I didn't know it was her kid when I saw him on the street, because I hadn't seen him since he was like 6 and he was 18, and him and his mates recommended it because I was trying to get a pizza, And they were talking about this tune. It was absolutely banging, and I'm like, "Excuse me, boys, hate to interrupt. What is this song that you're talking about? Because if it's really that good, I got to get me some of that." And they sort of looked at me like I was a bit weird, and I'm like, "Look, I don't mean to cause offence or nothing. I'm just, how else am I going to find out about wicked new music, right?" And they all went, "Oh, good point, well made." And then they told me what it was, and I put it on, and I was like, "Oh, I think you guys are right." And then I saw my mate in the supermarket, and she was like, "Oh, apparently you bumped into my son the other day." I was like, "Okay." Outside the pizza shop. I was like, "Oh, that was your boy, was it?" She was like, "Yeah, you probably didn't recognise him." I was like, "No, I didn't." And she was like, "No, I didn't think you would. It's been 12 years since you've seen him." I was like, "Yeah, fair, fair." But he was a total gentleman. Him and his mates. Like, people talk about the youth not being very nice, but these boys were real nice to me. Like, real pleasant, kind, you know, respectful. Like, they were in front of the door to the pizza shop as I was walking up, and I sort of body language my way into showing. Just, I didn't move my hands or nothing. No, I was just walking towards them, and they worked out that I was going to go in the pizza shop, and they just all moved out of the way of the pizza shop just in case. And like, really considerate. So they've been brought up well. But yeah, what a tune! Angel by Loyal Kana. Definitely check him out. He does some nice sort of laid back hip hop, but it's British. It's real nice. Excuse me. Like, it's the sort of tune that I'd play to my mum and she'd enjoy. And she's in her 70s. She'd still like it. There are some songs like that they transcend generations because they're just quality all the way through. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I've asked for a few recommendations over the series and episodes, and I get it, you might not be bothered, but if you can think of any decent tunes that you think that I or other people might really enjoy, put them in there. Put them in the comments. It'd be good. Like, I'd be game for listening to it, and if I listen to it, and I'll let you know what I think, because I'm always looking for good tunes. I mean, I'm always talking about the music that I listen to, but outside of opera and Elton John, I'm prepared to listen to basically anything to see if it's something I'll vibe with. And you'll be surprised at just how many things that people will vibe with that you're not expecting them to. Mm. Hang on. That's got to be nearly ready to proc, right? One more or two more? Two more. No, one more. Nice. Hang on, how many seconds now? 27 seconds. Ooh. You're my angel. 430. Yeah, so we're gonna go over 120 in an episode, which is nice. I do approve. So, what's the betting? Is 615 seconds or is 620 seconds? That's my curiosity, my question. Sorry, but see him, Shia LaBeouf, Rob Canton. And he's gaining on you, Shia LaBeouf. Oh, I love this song. It's so silly. I've got the video of it is the one where Shia LaBeouf's in the audience, and there's big like orchestral, no, not orchestral, like a operatic style like performance, like full on dramatization, and it is like lots of people singing the whole song together. It's brilliant. It's just actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. I can't believe that he went along with it, because apparently he may be a bit stressy when he works, but he's got a sense of humour about himself. It's caught in a bear trap. Quiet, quiet. So it is Shia LaBeouf. Sorry, it just makes me laugh. The idea of having a tussle in the woods with Shia LaBeouf, who's trying to eat you. Like, and the fact that he was part of the video, and you see him clapping to it at the end, and it's just heartwarming. It's a wholesome send up of a guy who took it in good humour when he didn't have to. It reminds me of the old Greek stories where, in the ancient Grecian times, or as we call it, lard, in the lard times, sorry, that's a bad joke. That's from, who was it? Tim Vine. He won the Edinburgh the Edinburgh Comedy Festival Joke of the Year with that one. He was like, my mate said that the Romans invented lard, and I told him no, it's just ancient Greece. Sorry, it's a very good joke. It's very well crafted. But yeah, like the fact that in ancient Greece, right, you would have people go to the Colosseums and the amphitheaters, and they would have comedians take the mick out of the rulers, right? Absolutely parody and satire them to the ends of the earth. And if the ruler didn't take it well, you can guarantee the ruler wouldn't be ruling for much longer, right? And the ones who were really good at ruling would not only find it funny, but they would often realise that some of the criticisms that were levelled at them would make them rethink things like policy. So could you imagine, you've got insert comedian here, so Trevor Noah or Stuart Lee or Leo Kearse or Dave Gorman, right? It doesn't matter what flavour of comedian you pick, but they tell jokes, and if they hit the nail on the head because everybody's laughing, the people in charge listen to that and go, yeah, actually you might have a point, because everybody's laughing along with it, and it is kind of funny. But if everybody's laughing along with it, then they're obviously raising some sort of valid statement, right? They're not just telling a joke at my expense. They're telling a joke that has poignancy to it, right? Could you imagine our leaders in any part of the world? It doesn't have to be in Britain, but like America, Russia, Mongolia, it doesn't matter where, right? Actually listening to those sort of jokes and going, do you know what? I think he's got something there, lads. We better change it. I just don't see it happening. And maybe that's just because I lack imagination. But I don't think I do. I think I'm probably right with that. I've got a feeling that most leaders nowadays are just like, yeah, about that. I'm not convinced that's a good thing. Will we make it to 443? We're down to 26 seconds per prestigium. I mean, that's a good rate of knots, right? I mean, we will make it to 443. We might even make it to 444. And I'm saying before the hour, as opposed to before the end of the episode, because the episode ends when I want it to end. Realistically, I could end it right now. I'm not going to, but we could. So yeah. But like, if I go in here and press this, I'm not going to. But if I was, this would go up to like 35 seconds or 37 seconds or whatever it was, and that's a loss of 6 prestigium every 10 minutes or something, or every 6 minutes. Every 6 minutes. 6 minutes? Yeah, 6 minutes. It's a lot. It's a lot. and I'm not comfortable with that. We're going to go to 4:45, I think, because the amount of time that's left of the hour, we made 4:44. Definitely, I can see that. 1 hour, right? So I'm gonna go to 4:45 because I think that's a reasonable number to stop at. I don't know why. I've just decided that seems fair. There we go. Right. Well, thank you for joining me. Take care. Bye.